Hi guys, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Gaurav. So in this video, I'm going to talk about something really important, which is how to introduce yourself. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's pretty easy. Like if someone asks you, you just said, oh, okay, my name is Gaurav and I'm 28 years old and I come from India. But well, that's not the point what I'm trying to say. When you express yourself, when you talk about yourself, and when you introduce yourself, it depends on whom you are introducing to or on what platform are you introducing to. Suppose you want to introduce yourself on Instagram, then you are not going to just say that, okay, my name is Gaurav and I'm this much year old and blah blah blah. So in my videos I like to cover all the cultural aspects because I come from India and I'm residing in United States, so it's really important to understand how to talk to different people because you will be trying to talk and make friends who are from abroad, and you might be socializing and you will meet many different people from many different backgrounds. So it's really important how you introduce yourself, and in this video I'm going to tell you different phrases, what to use and which terms to use while introducing yourself on which specific platform. So it's really important because it is always said that first impression is the last impression. So in this video we are going to discuss how to introduce yourself and also how you can improve your phrases while introducing yourself. So if you want to know how you're going to introduce yourself in a better way, please keep watching. Rule number one, be interesting. Now assume that you are in a party and someone asks you, hi, how are you? Then you should not be boring because it's a kind of atmosphere where everyone is happy, everyone is partying and they're expecting same from you. So you should not be saying like, hey, my name is Gaurav, I come from India, I do this and that, and that's really boring and you might be boring the other person who is trying to have fun. So it depends on the context. Like suppose you're in a party, then you just introduce yourself very shortly that, hey, my name is Gaurav and I'm originally from India and I reside in New York, how about you? So it's like a conversation starter. You don't have to just rush into it, you just keep it short and introduce yourself. Now that was a party scenario. Focus on the context. Now suppose you are writing an email, then you do not need to express this, hello, my name is Gaurav Patel, I am this and that. No, because your email says your name as your first name and the last name. So you just introduce yourself shortly like, hey, this is Gaurav and we met you at the party yesterday, like something like that. Just keep it short because they already know your name because it's already in their email. So keep it short and introduce yourself in a formal way or in a very short way because you know the context. So try to understand me, what I'm trying to say, that you have to understand your context and you have to build up the conversation accordingly. And when you are talking to someone, it has to be like really short because you are expecting them to communicate as well, because it's not only one way of communication, it's both the ways, because when you introduce yourself you expect them to introduce themselves as well. So keep it short, focus on the context, and you should be good and be interesting. Do not bore other person by introducing yourself. Rule number two, the introduction should be short. Keep it short, formal and interesting and exciting. Like suppose you are talking to someone or you are reaching out to someone, then just say in a formal way. There are different approaches which you can use. Like you can use, hi, good morning, good evening, my name is Gaurav and I want to speak to a representative of your company. This can be a formal approach. Or if you are calling in, then you can just say that, hey, may I speak to John? hello, may I speak to John? So there are different approaches to a different context, and in order to make it less boring and more interesting, it should be really short. And if your name already is in the email, do not repeat it, as I said. And if it's like a friend, or if you're reaching out to like a old colleague which was like kind of a friend, then just say that, hi, hello, what's up, how are you? So that's a different context. So you need to differentiate between those two, formal and informal approaches, and you should be able to speak to them and communicate them, and the best way is to keep it short. Now, how will you mention that what you do for living formally? Then you just say that, hi, my name is Gaurav and I am a project manager in New York City. I have been working for this company from this 5 years or whatever years you are working from. Suppose you are a student, then you talk formally as, I am about to graduate if you're graduating next week, or next semester, then I'm about to graduate from this program from Cleveland State University or something like that. So that will be the formal approaches if someone asks you what do you do for a living, because once you introduce yourself, the next question will be like, what do you do? What do you do for a living? How do you make money? So if you are a student, you formally say that I am a student of structural engineering and I'm about to graduate in so and so December 2021 or something like that. And if you are working, then you can say that I work for this so and so company from last 5 years and this is what I do. That's what the question will be in next step after you introduce yourself. So it's really important to get that formal context and focus on that and reply to them accordingly. Rule number 3, mention your ethnic background. Now you will be in an international environment especially if you are an international student. So it's really important for you to express where you come from. Do not forget your culture, because that's your basis, and you would like to explain what it is really, because not all the people are aware of. So you can simply say that I am originally from India and I have been residing in United States from last 5 years. Or you can simply say that I grew up in India, or you can say that I was born and raised in India but I am into the United States or New York from past this many years. That's the simple way to introduce yourself, by expressing where are you from and expressing your ethnic background, because people would really like to know where you immigrated from or where are you from, because they want to know more about your culture, and that's how you make connections, that's how you make friends, because they come to know about you and you can introduce that when you are trying to talk to them. So that's an important point to remember, that you need to mention your ethnic background, where you come from, if you are not born and raised into the same country. Next is, should you mention your age? Now, in Western cultures, what happens is it's different from other cultures. When you try to express your age, if it's not asked, then it's kind of a little off, because there are many rules and regulation, many discrimination law that restricts you from identifying or judging you on basis of your age. So in Western culture, people don't really say their age while introduction. Suppose someone like ask you who are you and stuff, and you say that my name is Gaurav and I'm 28 years old, I'm 25 years old, that sounds a little bit off. But if you are filling out a form or you have a questionnaire to fill out and you express there that okay, I'm this many years old, if it is mandatory, then only people in Western culture will tell their specific age. But it is not at all necessary to mention anything regarding your age, and you should not, especially in Western culture. So you should avoid mentioning your age unless and until it is asked for. So please keep that in mind. Rule number 4, don't say too much. Now sometimes I get emails or I get the DMs, direct messages on Instagram this long. Like they say like, hey, my name is Paula and I have been doing my master's in this field and I was born and raised here, and I like to do this, I like to explore this, like, and there was a question which was down below, a single line question in between. So it's like not everybody has the time to read this big message, so it will be easy if you just write it shortly, introduce yourself shortly, and come directly to the point. It's not going to be rude. You just say that, hey, my name is Gaurav, I have been following you from this long and I had a question, and then just start your question. Or you can say that, hey, or if it's an email, you just say, hey, my name is Gaurav, I was wondering if, and start your question. That's so easy and simple because you are directly coming to the point and you're not introducing yourself, which you don't need. Like, you're mentioning your whole first name, last name, what you do, what are your interests. Like, nobody wants to listen that right now because it's a formal conversation. You need to be direct, and you need to directly say to them or ask them what you actually is your question is, and tell them or appreciate them, like, you are doing a wonderful job, I have been following you from this long and I have a question. Do you have this, like, do you know about this? And in email you will be just writing it, hey, my name is Gaurav, I was wondering if blah blah blah. So it's really simple. Make it shorter, don't make it too much long, and you will be good to go. Rule number 5, build relationships. Now, the motto of doing all this and introducing yourself is to get in touch with people, know them better, and build relationships. So always when you're talking or introducing yourself, make sure you ask a follow-up question. Like, suppose you are like studying in your masters and you're writing something about global warming, then you say, hey, my name is Gaurav, I'm studying in this environmental stuff, and I was doing research on global warming, and do you know that New York City will face this and this crisis in 2022? Then that's like a question, like you ask them that, do you know? So they will be like, oh wow, no, I didn't know that, that's good that you mentioned, and stuff like that. And if you are like trying to like introduce yourself in such a way that if you do not have a follow-up question, just ask that, hey, my name is Gaurav, I'm about to graduate from this university, what about you, what do you do, what brought you here to New York, what are the things which you like to do in New York, do you like this city, when did you come to New York, were you born and raised here? Like, all that questions should be like a follow-up question, and you should definitely ask them while introducing yourself, because you are trying to build a relationship, you are trying to network. So it's really important that you ask a follow-up question. Rule number 6, mind your body language. Like, in Western culture, we introduce ourselves as by shaking hand, or by, like, because of COVID, people just punch this way in a softer way, just to say hi or just wave your hand. But it's also common to hug people before COVID, for sure. Like, it's getting things normal, but here in Western culture, people sometimes hug, and while you end your conversation, they end their conversation by hugging you and saying that it was nice to meet you. But don't just go and kiss their hand or kiss their cheek. That's not really what Western people do. So if you are coming to United States, then the best way would be to just shake hand or say hello and introduce yourself. That's the best way to approach, and you have to mind your body language. You are not going there and kissing their hand and just doing some weird stuff which is not really it's all about. So make sure you mind your body language, you approach to them very friendly, and they should sense a feeling of having like a friendly conversation. Smile, make eye contact, shake hands, or hug to people. That's a good advice on minding your body language, and that's how you should approach while introducing yourself. Rule number 7, always remember about the cultural context. Like, do not talk about age, your marital status, politics, and all those different kinds of religious stuff. which will not be looking very well. So always make sure you are aware of that cultural context and you do not ask such weird questions. So that's all from my side, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end, and I hope you like this a different kind of video which I made, which is really important, like how to introduce yourself. And I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me. And that's all for this video. I will see you in another video with another topic. Take care and be safe.